Hey, mixtape scholars, this is another snow day video where I'm getting some encouragement and some details out there for your two major creative assignments for English 2130, the American Mixtape, Spring 2026 with Mr. Smith. These books, the 33 and a third books, there's also a slide there, are full-length books just about one record album. I'm obsessed with these things. I will bring a few of these to class to show you and pass around, and maybe you can catch a spark and catch a vibe off of them. These are people who are serious music fans and serious music nerds who write an entire book just fully meditating and thinking and swimming and kind of almost immersing themselves, kind of baptizing themselves inside an album. And an album is a collection of, I don't know, a dozen songs. It's released as an album by an American-based artist for the purposes of our class. And this should be a lyrics-based album because the words are what we call the poetic song verse, and we're really going to be focusing on the meanings and the messages of these texts. And I had a student a couple years ago, I believe they were writing about Kendrick Lamar, hip-hop giant, and I believe they said, Mr. Smith, this is the most fun I have ever had in school. And I don't know if you can match that. I don't know if you're going to enjoy this as much as that guy did, but I want you to pick something that you love, that you're excited about, or something that you want to learn about, or something maybe that your dad or your mom or your best friend turned you on to, or your uncle, your weird uncle, and just really get into this thing in a deep way and really just roll into this album and make it your constant companion, your audio companion in your earbuds for the duration of the semester as you build towards this essay, which is due at the end of March, right before the Easter break. First of all, you're going to choose a lyrics-based album by an American artist. Now, I've provided a humongous list for you that you can pick one from. That's a curated list of iconic American albums. It's about 120 albums on there. Not even close. Can't even get close to an exhaustive list. But for people who are stumped or not as curious as others, or maybe you thought you were signing up for the Hemingway and Fitzgerald class of lit and you accidentally got the poetic song verse version of lit, you might need some prompting that list, or you want to be into the lane that Mr. Smith is already in. You can pick an album from that list, but you are absolutely encouraged to choose your own album. Popular choices recently have been everything from like Zach Bryan to Noah Kahan to Rod Wave to Taylor Swift. It just really whatever is completely exhilarating and mesmerizing to you, whatever you connect with. I do have a limit that I'm not going to have a lot of overlap, so we're going to have a reservation system set up via email. Once you've chosen your album, the first thing you just need to do for the next couple of weeks is listen to it over and over and over again. And choosing the album includes getting it approved by Mr. Smith over email. And just listen to it until you've made it your friend. And many times students for this assignment have said, well, I knew that one song, or I knew they were good, or I knew that so-and-so liked them and I really wanted to be on the same page as my bestie or my dad on this one. And so I'm really going to dial in and commit to this. So listening over and over again until it becomes a part of your personal music fandom vernacular. You want to make it part of the language that you could speak, where you could just spit the lyrics yourselves. You're finding yourself humming along to these songs even when the record is not playing. Once you've got your choice approved by Mr. Smith, you're going to be so into this thing. It's just going to be become a part of your life. And if you get into it and you're like, nah, I'm just not feeling it, you switch right away. Even if you've already got it approved by Mr. Smith and you've already listened to it a bunch of times and you're like, nah, I'm just not feeling this thing anymore. I thought I liked the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I guess I was wrong. Go and pick a different album. And once you've settled, I've approved it, you've listened to it a lot, you know this is the one. Start to identify the themes and messages that are coming out of this, the strong meaning that you're interpreting. And this is about your interpretation, your feelings, your reactions, not what you think the artist meant, though that is important too. We're focusing for this project on your experience. So all the places that you feel a personal connection, all the places you feel this album makes you come alive and be a better person. I've got a great essay written by a former student about a folk pop rock band called the Lumineers, part of the whole early 2010s folk revival. This album essay by a former student really captures the spirit that I want you to approach it with. And you'll see from her sample essay the way she put her personal self right into the lines and paragraphs of her pages. That's the direction I want you all to go. I want you to get into it and be yourself and be fully present to the task at hand. This is the ideal angle of approach that she's exhibited. I want you to model that in your paper. Now that you've been listening to this album a lot, and it's becoming familiar, it's becoming a part of who you are, then you're ready to start drafting this paper. And the best way to draft this paper is just to sit down and start writing. I teach English 1 and 2, the composition courses, and I'm a big fan of the raw free write, the brainstorm, the word vomit. Just get it on the page, get inside of it. Don't necessarily need an outline. And what I definitely do not want is a track by track analysis. This is not a track by track analysis. You're not required to quote every song. You're definitely not supposed to just say the true meaning of this song is blank because there's a metaphor that means blank. I don't want a clinical approach to this, even a literary clinical approach. I want the raw, feelings-based, your true self approach to this. I would encourage, since we're getting started now and it's not due to the end of March, I want you to get a rough draft going, maybe that you can get me to respond to. You can take to the West Center in Henderson Hall, which is a tutoring club. They will be probably blown away over there to read your essay about an American album. And be grateful to have that opportunity. Just remember the final draft is going to be due. I'm not using iLearn this semester. It's going to be created in a Google document, and it'll be shared with Mr. Smith on Google Drive by March 27th, 2026. I know I've already gone over this in class, but we are not using generative AI for this assignment. We're not using ChatGPT, not at all. And I don't need you to read a bunch of reviews of this album, a bunch of articles about this artist. I don't need you to listen to a bunch of podcasts. Those might exist, but I want you to get a raw, unfiltered opinion that's mostly based maybe on like the Wikipedia page, the actual lyrics to the songs themselves, but mostly based on your intense and prolonged listening to an album that you choose, that you're excited about, that you can be like that previous student of mine and be like, dude, this is the most fun I've ever had at college. That's what I want this paper to be for you. I can't wait to see what topics you come up with. And my emails are open now. Reservation system is open now for your album of choice. You can even get it to me before we come off Snow Day Icepocalypse 2026. Thanks for listening to my video. I'll see you all in class when it's safe to be there. Thanks for being here.